Hi, it's Melissa from Bears Pampered Stampers. I'm going to attempt to do a make and take online today, so hold on to your hats. But first, I needed to put some ejection foam in the dies that I'm going to use. And it always surprises me the number of people who don't know what that is or what it does. So as long as I was putting the ejection foam in my dies today, I thought I'd go ahead and film it so that you folks can see what it does and why you need it. So this is what it looks like in the package. It's 4 pieces, different sizes. It's foam on one side, and on the other side is a backing that you pull back, and that's what keeps the adhesive from sticking to everything. So that's what it is, and here's how we're going to use it. I have 2 dies that are long and skinny, and the paper just always sticks in them. It's really a pain. So what I've done is I found a way to lay it out so that I can use every last little piece of this. So what I'm going to do now is peel back the adhesive backing, and that's sometimes the trickiest thing of all. But here we go. Now this is very sticky, and I'm putting it cutting side down. So that when I run this through the Big Shot, it will stick inside the cutting edge of that die. I'm going to put this other one on because as long as I'm running it, I'm running them both through at the same time. Now you'll see the top of my K here, I guess I could have done it the other way. It's probably going to work better that way. But it doesn't matter if a little bit of your die doesn't get foam in it. It's not the end of the world, because it's still, for the bulk of it, it'll be coated with that foam, and it won't hold your paper in there. So now I'm folding the adhesive backing back over so it doesn't stick to my Big Shot. Okay, so foam side down, cutting side down. I'm going to lay this on my regular setup, which is the base plate plus my chrome plate. But if you don't have a chrome plate, and if you don't know what you're missing. But if you don't have a chrome plate, then you would put your acrylic plate, the foam facing down, the cutting edge facing down, and then your other acrylic plate on top. And so we're just going to run that through. And it's going to cut into that foam pretty well. And I'm just going to run it through a second time. Sometimes it needs 2 or 3 times. It just depends on how good your plates are. Usually with the chrome plate, 2 is plenty, but we'll just have to see. So we'll turn it over. Oh yeah, it looks like it cut really nicely. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our chewed up piece off. And I'll set this to the side so it's out of the way. And we're going to peel back that adhesive backing again, just like we did before. Well, actually, we don't even have to do that. We can just poke it through. Okay, so now we have all that foam inside the die, and it seems kind of counterintuitive that that this would still cut, but your cutting edge is still very strong. So I'm just going to take out these little pieces that we don't need. it really doesn't matter. You can leave them if you want to, but I usually poke them out because eventually they're going to come out and then they're going to stick to something. So I just pull those on out. And I'll show you how that cuts then. The same with this one. Just pulls right on out of there. And you only have to do this once. This foam stays in here forever, or until somebody tries to help you clean your die out and pulls all the foam out for you because they don't know that it belongs in there. I've had that happen a couple of times. They think it's paper or they think something's stuck in there, and so they pull it out for me. Here, I cleaned your die out for you. Gee, thanks. But it is very helpful, not just kind of helpful. It's very helpful to have that in there. Just makes things a whole lot easier. It's a little messy when you do it, but once it's done, and you don't have to keep repeating that over and over. And the next time you go to cut it, you're so happy you did it because it's just such a pleasure to cut when you've got the foam in there. And I use this on intricate foams, not just word dies, but intricate dies, anything with lots of little tiny pieces that get stuck so hard that you can't pull them out. Okay, so let's cut a couple of these and I'll show you how it works. Let's see, a little piece of paper here. And there's our paper. Here's our die. And I'm putting this in the middle because I'm going to probably cut an oval out of this. And when I use the oval, I'm going to put something on top of it, and you'll never see the hello that's there. So I'll get double duty out of this piece of paper. So here we go. Now we're going to pop that out. And the die has actually come out clean. It's just got the foam in it. And here's your paper. It's kind of stuck in your paper, but it's a lot easier to get out than getting it out of a die. There we go. So there's your hello. Couldn't have been easier. But boy, it was a stinker to pull out of there when it wasn't attached. It didn't have the foam on it. So that's what I do with my dies, especially if I'm going to be cutting a lot of them. It's worth the few minutes to put the foam in to not have to fiddle with getting all the little tiny pieces out of that die. So let me get my things together and we'll move on to our make and take.